Awesome. Hey, how you all going? It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy with Crannk, and tonight I'm having a chat with In Malice's Wake, singer, guitarist, unreal dude, one of Australia's premier thrash bands. Shaun, cheers for making some time to have a chat with me, mate.
Thanks, Joy. It's good to be having a bit of a chat. Don't get out too often at the moment, so it's nice to be on.
Yeah, well, I've been going a little bit stir crazy. We're starting to be move around a little bit, but not far. Just taking my daughter to school's about the only interaction at the moment. But and talking to guys like yourself, man. But before we get into anything, can you just give the uninitiated a little rundown on who In Malice's Wake are?
Yeah, of course, man. We've been thrash band from Melbourne. Been playing the Traps for, I reckon it's a good 13 years now. Predominantly play a very heavy, aggressive, fast thrash metal. I think these days I'd probably compare us most to very Slayer influenced, a bit of Sodom in there, but a lot more death metal tinge coming in, a bit of Deicide sort of Vital Remains kind of flavor creeping in as well. But yeah, we've had a very solid set of lineups for most of the time. We've been a very established band, played 100 gigs through Melbourne, but all around Australia as well. So I think we've developed a very strong following. Our shows are always really well attended by tons of people, and we're pretty known for the violent mosh pit these days. So it's built up to something pretty special. We're really proud of it. And yeah, I think we're very established, highly regarded thrash band in Victoria. We've got 4 full releases. Our fourth is just finished recording, but yeah, so we've done quite a bit. Haven't overseas toured as much as we probably would have liked. Been out to New Zealand once, but had big plans this year to travel a bit, and that's all sort of gone a bit south. But yeah, I guess that's in a nutshell who we are and what we're about.
Yeah, everything has kind of gone south. You're talking about your shows. I met you in 2017, I think it was, behind the merch stand.
I remember it well, man. That was the New Dead Festival, and we're having a bit of chat there. So that's was that 3 years ago now? It's come and gone quick.
Yeah, that was an unreal show, and that was kind of my first taste of In Malice's Wake. I had a little bit of a listen because I was doing a bit of research for the New Dead, but I caught you guys and was blown away by your show. And that's
cool, man.
Style of thrash I really enjoy, man. And what was it, the Light Upon the Wicked album? I grabbed that and it's still crazy.
That's grouse. Yeah, no, that's really nice to hear, man. We've always give it 100%. Really, we're really into the sound that we've created, and I think live we just really enjoy putting that to the people, and everyone seems to respond really well. And I remember that show was especially good. Was that the one with Napalm Death and
that was Napalm Death and Brugeria and Lock Up. That was a cool show, man.
That was awesome. We just for us, like, we jumped in the car, like the boys at Grouse to do a road trip with as well. So we did the 10-hour drive, but really we were just excited to see Napalm, especially. The whole bill was great. So we had a sick time with our set, but then just went nuts for Napalm as well. I think Mark, our drummer, got dropped on his head on a crowd surf, and the rest was just a wild night, man. It was a really good fun weekend.
Yeah, well, how good is the New Dead Metal Fest? And Jason North of Truth Corroded does an unreal job of putting those shows on, and it gives the taste of the talent that we have here in Australia, like bands like yourselves that probably don't get noticed as much and should be, you know.
Yeah, thanks. So he does just such a great job of putting together what feels like a international quality day, you know, at a local level. Like I know he's gotten international bands out for the last few years, but even just the locals we have playing, it makes you pretty proud of the scene that you're a part of, to sort of get there and watch bands like Truth Corroded, and I could rattle off a whole bunch, but there's just so many, man. So he does a really good job of pulling together so many great bands, but also such diverse lineups too. There's so many different styles represented at those festivals.
Yeah, and it showcases this talent we have here in Australia, and it does my head in, like you're saying. Like, we have these underappreciated bands, especially like In Malice's Wake, and the quality of talent we have in the Australian metal scene is unreal, man. We need people getting along and attending these shows, because when I went, it just blew my mind, dude. Totally blew my mind.
Yeah,
the talent we had here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to watch, and I discover new bands all the time from shows like that too. Like there's probably a couple of really good festivals in every state. Like the Steel Assassins up in Sydney, and
Yep.
you got your Shredfest up in Brisbane, and then in Victoria, there's like 5 or 6 different fests that happen every year, and just every year you always come away discovering a new band or two. So it's always worth a look.
Yeah, did I see that you guys have started announced a show or something? Or was one of the festivals coming up?
Yeah, we've had Shredfest announced.
Yep.
I've sort of held off just a bit from giving it a full promotional push till it looked like things were starting to open up. But yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely have one early December. So now that things are opening up, we're going to give that a good shove. But Shredfest is, sorry, Thrashfest
Thrashfest, yeah.
is just it's obviously a real thrash centric collection of various bands, some of the best in Australia. Like we're playing with Harlot, Envenomed from here, but he's the bloke's pulled thrash bands from all different states and heaps of locals. So to be honest, man, I'm just looking forward to hitting a stage again and playing live, because we've really missed that. It's the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah, well, you released that Morbid Angel kind of cover, man, that is unreal. The Immortal Rites from the classic Altars of Madness album, dude.
Yeah, man, we were pretty rapt to do that one. It was heaps of fun. Like we've been covering that song at a bunch of shows. Like we played that with Bloodbath last year. I think that was our closer for those shows. Maybe opener, I can't even remember. But yeah, we'd sort of been on and off covering that, as well as Slayer's Angel of Death, etc. And we found in the last album we just had a little bit of time left over, and Mark, we start with the drums, so he had like a day's left. He goes, "You want to do some covers?" So we're going to do that, and Beneath the Remains, which we just didn't get time to do them both. But yeah, him especially is a huge Morbid Angel fan, him and me, and we love that band, love that song. It was really cool to sort of put our spin on it.
Yeah, it would have been, man. I've got that Domination album, and what was it? The live one from the 2016. What did I write down? Entangled in Chaos. That was it, man. Those are the two that I come back to a fair bit on my computer in heavy rotation, man.
Oh, what a band, man. I've just recently re-fallen in love with Formula's Fatal for the Flesh, like always like just pump the first 3 over and over again. But put Formulas on in the car, I'm like, oh man, I forgot how good this is. And yeah, that's been a heavy rotation last month or two.
Yeah, cool, man. I love the themes you got going on in your albums, like the classic. I don't know if I'm getting that old. I'm 40 now, and I've reached that age, and I love the musical content, kind of having the against the church and the things you got. We Bear the Cross, man. That album got a hammering in my car, dude.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
The Cross, dude. How do you approach your songwriting with your songs, and especially the 4th album you've got coming up?
Yeah, it's I guess lyrically, this album especially, we've tried to go with a consistent theme, and it is very, I guess, anti-established religion. We're, I think, all pretty of the belief that people should be able to practice any religion they like, and that's all down to personal choice, and belief systems obviously a really personal thing, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we've sort of focused on religion through the years, and just a lot of the evil that's come from it. Different types of warfare. There's practices into human sacrifice, and just basically anything where things are going a bit south through people forcing their beliefs on other people, and just some of the issues with doctrines not working with one another. And I don't know, if you don't have to scratch the surface too much to find a lot of damage that's been done in the name of religion. And I think, this latest album, The Blindness of Faith, really focuses on that side of things. But yeah, of course, anyone that practices a religion, that's not something we're against. It's a lot of good can come from that. But there is definitely a dark side, and even just all the things recently with the George Pell getting off the charge on that one there. It's just, there's some things that shouldn't be, and religion sort of makes excuses for a lot of it. So it's, there's a lot of material there that it's pretty easy to go into. But I really like to try and put a bit of effort, and not just, I don't know, spit whatever lyrics come out. I've got songbooks full of them. Like to research into whatever the theme is that we're doing. I've always found with metal that music comes first, and it always should. You know, good lyrics aren't going to save a shit song, but if you have a strong album and then your lyrics are really, I don't know, thought out and have something to say, then it really does give that extra 5-10%. You know, that makes it stand the test of time that much better. So lyrics have always been something I've approached as really important, I think.
Yeah, well, they definitely resonate with me, that's for sure.
That's cool, man.
So how long have you been working on this? Because 2015 was Light Upon the Wicked.
Yeah, it's taken longer than we have hoped. So I guess after that one, there were a lot of kids involved in the band. I've got a little boy. My brother Mark's got 3 girls, and guitarist Leigh has 2 girls now. So, you know, that does slow things down, but weirdly, the writing of the material took 2.5 years, which is not uncommon for us. But then the recording process has probably taken a good another year on top of that. And normally I think we'd have it done in maybe 6 months. So a year sort of stretched things out a little bit further. But our hold up at the moment is just trying to find a label to release it as well. So had the press kit developed in Jan and sent things out quite aggressively, and I'm sure in a different sort of world we would have heard back a lot sooner. And we have, you know, had a few small discussions with certain labels, but I think at a certain point we will just end up self-releasing if things don't work out. But yeah, I guess there's a few things that have come together to slow things down, but I mean the whole time we've sort of been pushing forward, keeping pretty busy. I've sort of painted the cover art, and I like to do all that kind of work as well, and that's sort of taken a bit longer than I'd have hoped. And yeah, I guess a few things blew out time-wise, and it all sort of adds up, and I couldn't believe how quickly it got to 4.5 years since the last one. You're like, Jesus, how did that happen? You know, but yeah, it has taken a long time. On the flip side, it's a killer album. I think if you enjoyed Light Upon the Wicked, it's sort of a brother of that one. It's maybe a little slightly thrashier, where Light Upon the Wicked might have pressed a bit heavier into the death metal side of things, but it's as heavy, possibly heavier in some parts. And it's a cracking album. We're really proud of it.
I'm really looking forward to it, eh?
Yeah, that's sick, man. We're
just done the artwork. You do all the artwork, as you just said. Sorry, you done the artwork on there, man. How did you get into art, dude? Because you done the Light Upon the Wicked album. I did see that.
No, I didn't actually. No, it's the only one I haven't done. We got a bloke called Nick Culler to do that one, and he's a Kiwi New Zealand artist who's done work for the Weta Workshop, Lord of the Rings.
Cool.
He's done a ton of band album covers. He's awesome. So. This time around, I'd sort of gotten into doing a bit of oil painting, and I really wanted to have a crack again. So, I've finished it. It's come up really well. I'm real happy with it. So, I just can't wait to get it out and share it. But I've always been into art and drawing. Did it all through school, just for, you know, instead of listening, I'd be drawing in my books. But then took it a bit more seriously. I did airbrushing class, night school, for a number of years. I was running a business, painting motorbikes and doing murals on them and things like that. So, and these days I'm a primary school art teacher for my day job as well. So I've always loved art and all the things that come with it. I've probably enjoyed the art of heavy metal as much as the music. They just sort of go hand in hand for me. And so that's sort of been my involvement in it.
Yeah, that's really cool, because I've been asking a lot about artwork as well. That I love art as well. I think it's the whole package as well. And I always refer to music as art too. Yep. You know, people forget that music's an art, and in Australia we have this big push for Australian made, and we don't have the same for the arts scene as well. And I think this recent pandemic has shown that. Yeah,
it's very true. It's very true. And I hope that the promoters, and especially, I mean, we do this thing because we love it, and it's never been a huge source of income for us. But part of me really worries about some of the, you know, those promoters that bring out all our favorite bands that sort of do have a real stake in this financially, and, you know, have their houses up against it. And, you know, I just hope the industry can push through and recover, because they would have taken huge losses, man. Those tours, you know, you can't unbook them. You know, there's just a lot to be lost. So, I'm hoping at the other end of all this that, you know, people really realize what there is at stake, and push to support it as well, because it's important, really is.
Yeah, it is really important. It's good for the punters, to get along and support the scene. If you love a band, get along, support the shows, because you've seen it countless times as well. Going to these shows, you get half a dozen people, and we've got the cream of the crop here in Australia on the stages playing. Like, hold it down with any band from overseas, no doubt, any of the top acts. And you get to these shows and you're like 20, 30 people. So I really think, people need to get out as well and support these bands. And especially now, like merch wise, like if you can't go to a show, get along, buy a shirt,
Yeah, it really does help. I mean, even for us, we don't make much money from it, but we're almost to the point through just the sales of over the merch desk or through the store that the albums can at least fund themselves. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of hours put into any release that you do. So for it to not be costing you too much money is a real privilege, and I don't think people understand. Oh, I'm sure they do understand just how much it means to bands when people do pick up merch and do support it that way, because it really does go a long way to helping keep it sustainable for bands. I don't think any bands, especially not playing metal in Australia, is under any delusions they're going to get overly rich from it. But for it to not be costing you, it lets you do it for a really long time. Not everyone's in a position where they can fork out thousands of dollars every couple of years to push out an album. But if that album can fund itself through merch sales, then it does become doable for a much longer period of time. And I don't know, we're 15 years in, I guess, ish to what we're doing, and for the most part, the albums we break even. We're lucky like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You barely break even. That's why it's important to get along to the merch stand. So, and in this case, where's the best place to get to a merch site and support you guys?
We've got just through if you just go to immaliceswake.com, it takes you straight there, and that's got all our CDs and long sleeves and everything else there. So just directly through our site, that's got PayPal connections and all that too. So just through there, that'd be unreal. And hopefully very soon we're going to have a huge bunch of new stuff out there for people too. So whether it's through a label or ourselves, we'll have this new album out within months, hopefully. And we're penning together a whole bunch of new merch, shirts as part of that release too. So but just through that site's the best place.
So the recording and production process, did you do that all yourself, or who did you work with, and where did you do it?
We've for the last 3 releases, including this one, our live one, Light Upon the Wicked, and this, we've worked with Chris Thermelko, who runs Monolith Studios in Melbourne, and has worked with just countless bands.
Orpheus Omega as well.
Yeah, he's a front man for that band too. So just incredibly hardworking guy. And this is our 3rd release with him. So we just get, like everyone else, we get along so well with him. I think being in a band, just really understands how it feels to put songs together, and how it feels to see your babies come to life, I guess. So he's got a lot of really great ideas as a producer too. He's very he takes your input on board. Like for the last couple of albums, we've wanted quite an organic sort of drum sound, and didn't want that overly clinical, overproduced kind of sound for what we do. I don't know, he's really respondent to feedback. He's just an absolute pro. He really, really cares about his releases, and we just love working with him so much on the last 2 that there wasn't really a question this time. It was just like, you're happy to do that. And it was from there, it was like, the drill. He's got a great drum room that he rents out. And by the end of it, really just sort of miss hanging out with him every week, because we spend hours there, through the process. And he always makes it really enjoyable. Like, there's parts of recording that's a grind. Like, I record the guitars myself at home through a unit here that he reamps in the studio. Leader's the same. So there's parts of it where you just sort of hammer away 4 hours a night after the kids have gone to bed before work the next day, and just playing the same riff over and over and over. And it's a real drag. But I think the magic of the recording process is you get to see it slowly, piece by piece, come together. And Chris just makes that smooth, fun. You know the result at the end is going to be really good. So he's awesome. Can't recommend him enough.
Yeah, well, I've been seeing his name pop up a fair bit over the last couple of years with albums, and some of the production work he's done is really, really good, man. He's an unreal producer there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he really is. So
And
it's I can't imagine us going with someone else next time around too. I haven't spoken to him about that yet, but yeah, yeah, he's that good.
yeah, and that's another band that I caught at New Dead Metal Fest, Orpheus Omega.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, what was that album they brought out last year? That was really, really cool, man. Was that last year or the year before? Oh, dude, I should know that, man.
It's got the shattered glass on the front.
Yeah, I'll have to share a link for that here too.
Yeah, they're definitely worth checking out. Probably the best example of that melodic death Swedish style that we do in Australia, as far as I'm aware. Very, very worth checking out.
Yeah, well, the talent here in Australia, you could I seen Falls Festival are announcing festival just Aussie bands. I was sitting there going, man, you could do that with the metal scene. No worries, hands down. You could have like 5 days in a row of just constant. Decent.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really miss the huge festivals. We used to have that Metal for the Brain. I don't know if you ever went to that one over in Canberra. But I only ever got the chance to go once, and just the names that were on that bill, like for one day in Canberra, it was like we have Vanishing Point, Hobbs, Angel of Death. There was Devolve. There was Dungeon. There was Destroyer 666, Astrial. There was Fuck I'm Dead. There was it just kept going, and you look at it now, like there'll be others I've just forgotten. There's another 10 bands on that bill, Alchemist, blah blah blah. I miss that, but the festivals we've got now are just huge as well, so there's just so much worth checking out.
Yeah, well, like Devolved, they're just about to drop their new single. Funny you mentioned that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. It's got Simo and Sankey on drums there, and Chris, man, he's a machine on the guitars. I think
very keen to see what they do, man. It's I was a huge fan of that. I think it was Technology's album back in the day. I cranked that so many times. So yeah, when I saw they put that announcement up, I'm like, oh Jesus, Devolved. I thought they were dead and buried, and so I'm like you, man. I can't wait to see what that sounds like. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, well, Simo, he was got In Extremis, now playing, got back together, and then Super Heist have been playing, and Sankey's on drums there. So
yeah, he's a machine.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And then you got Chris. He done what's that, Mazikeen recently in the year, which was really cool. That symphonic, and he had Pedruzzi on the drums as well, Marco.
Yeah, wow.
As well. So the scene is really happening, dude, and I'm looking forward to where everything goes from here, especially in Malice's wake, man. Before we go, we're going to start rounding this up. Did you want to shout out last words or anything before we sign out?
Oh, I just wanted to thank everyone that's sort of been out to shows, like yourself included. We've been lucky last, I don't know, however many years that our shows have always been, as long as I can remember now, just really well attended. We've got best people come check us out. Rabid people, even other countries, just asking what we're doing, where's this new album. So just want to say that we really appreciate all the support that we do get. It really does drive you along to keep doing it. And sorry this new one's taken as long as it has. It really will be worth the wait. We're really proud of it. So we're going to work as hard as we can to get that out nice and quickly for everyone. Thanks for your patience, and just thanks to everyone who's supported us up to this point. It's meant a lot.
Awesome. Shaun, in Malice's wake, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Legend,
Joy.
man. I'll catch you in the show when we all get going again.
Will do, man. Thanks, Ace.
Cheers, mate.